Right, so here's the letter. To the Right Honourable Jacob Rees Mogg, House of Commons. Dear Sir Jacob, thank you for your letter of the 13th September to the Home Secretary on behalf of Mr. Scott Williams of Wessex, raising his concerns about the government response, consultation on new proposals to tackle the use of machetes and everything. I am replying as the Minister of State of Crime. I will take this opportunity to ensure that the tackling knife is a priority. Mine's not concerns of his proposals. Mine is a concern of the language and the lack of clarification. Because if we get it come out with woolly language, I want to take the opportunity to assure that tackling knife crime is a priority. And the government is determined to crack down the scourge of violence devastating our community. Between the 18th of June and July, 5 proposals to tackle knife crime, target ban, blah 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 blah. The consultation, the police concerns like this, blah blah blah. Having considered the knives, the details, the government is to introduce a ban on certain type of large weapons and machetes that seem to appeal to those who want to use these items as weapons. You see, use them as weapons. I like that language. To use these knives and machetes as weapons. Nice one, Mr. Philp. The government will legislate when parliamentary time allows. Once the legislation is enforced, it will be a criminal offence to import, sell or possess these types of weapons. They slip into weapons again. So he's used these machetes as weapons, and then he's fallen straight back in, import or possess these types of weapons, these types of knives or machetes. Do you see how flip-flops? As set out in the consultation, we're considering the following features: cutting edge, plain serrated, sharp point, and length of the blade over 8 inches, holes in the blade, spikes, protuberance. So length of the blade over 8 inches. These features will be considered to differentiate the types of machetes and knives which appear to have been designed to look intimidating and have no practical purpose, with the types of machetes, knives or other tools which are used for agricultural, gardening and a range of other jobs and pastimes. It should be noted that these features are mentioned above are features that are being considered, but is not the actual word in a legal definition which will be included in future legislation. Right. Please thank Mr. Williams for writing about this important subject. His comments will inform our development of the new legislation. Okay, so what the whole point was that we clarify that it's a blade of 8 inches. Okay, so it looks like we've got that. But even then, his language did slip. It slid. Okay, this is like a traitor's gate. It's a sliding of the language. It's changed here. Where he went, the government will seek to introduce a ban on certain types of large knives and machetes that seem to appeal to those who want to use these items as weapons. It's a knife. It's a machete. The government will legislate when parliamentary time allows. Once this legislation is formed, it will be a criminal offence to import, sell or possess these types of weapons. So he slid it back to weapons. But anyway, 8 inch, they now need to clarify that as to be mirrored, but length of blade over 8 inches. There it is, black and white. So that's what we need. If anybody else wishes to ensure that that gets clarified, I mean, it makes no difference to the generalists because our tools are traditional. So your Condors, your Tramontinas, you know, your Golocks, the traditional tools. You ain't got vents in it. We ain't got great Rambo serrations on generally. So there's really no skin off our back, but the cheap stainless 410 rubbish, 440 stainless. That's the things that are going to be encompassed within this thing, and it will fall with the cutting edge, plain and serrated, sharp pointed end, length of blade over inches, holes in the blade, and other features, spikes, protuberances, and hooks. Now, as long as obviously a traditional tool is a bill hook, a traditional Staffordshire one has a blade on the back as well. A traditional tool should escape any problems of this. Only the zombie type ones should get them, but it was the 8 inches one that we have to. Anybody else would want to go towards Mr. Chris Philp. He's the Minister for State for Crime, Policing and Fire at 2 Marsham Street. That's M-A-R-S, Mars Ham, Marsham Street, London, SW1P 40F. And just basically thank him for ensuring that in future the legislation will clarify that it is a blade of 8 inches and above, not a weapon of 8 inches. It must clarify a blade, a knife with a blade of over 8 inches. Sorry for the struggling throat, but I just let it know as soon as possible. Got Wessex Blades out, and hopefully see you all at the knife show this coming weekend. Again, Wessex Blades out.